In this video, we're going to be looking at three types of equations, three types of linear equations. And these equations are the type that either have one solution, no solution, or an infinite number of solutions. So let's start with an equation that has exactly one solution. And that would be this equation, 36 minus 4x equals 108. All right, so this is an equation that you're probably familiar with, this type of equation. Let's start out by isolating our variable. We're going to subtract 36 from both sides. And we're going to end up here with 0 minus 4x. I'm just adding this step so that it's perfectly clear to everyone how I end up with negative 4x here, right? 0 minus 4x would equal negative 4x, which equals 72. And at this point, I need to divide both sides of this by negative 4. And x equals negative 18. All right, I know that this equation has exactly one solution. And that one solution is negative 18. The variable is going to equal negative 18. Only negative 18 will make this statement, 36 minus 4 times x equals 108. The only way that will happen for this to be true is if I multiply 4 by negative 18. This is an example of an equation that has exactly one solution. I have a variable on one side and exactly one number on the other. This equation is an example of an equation that has no solution. There is no way that there will be a solution for this equation. And let's see how this plays out and how we know this. All right, we're going to distribute, and by the way, I don't know that at the start of this. I'll know it at the end. I only know that's true because I'm teaching the class. Okay, all fairness here. So let's start by distributing the 3. So I'm going to have 3 multiplied by 2x plus 3 multiplied by 4 is going to equal 6x added to 9. The result of the distribution, 6x plus 12 equals 6x plus 9. Pardon me. All right, I am going to move my x terms. And so I'm going to subtract 6x from both sides. Now I have 6x minus 6x plus 12 equals 6x minus 6x plus 9. At this point, I imagine some of you have already figured this out and can see what's about to happen. 6x minus 6x would be 0. I'm left with 12 on this side of the equation. 6x minus 6x is 0, and I'm left with 9 on this side of the equation. And obviously this is false, right? 12 does not equal 9. And what this means, if I end up with something that looks like this is a false statement. And for this type of equation, there is no solution. There is no solution that will make this equation true. And the proof of that is that I solved this equation for my variable, and what I ended up with is a false statement. 12 does not equal 9. This is an equation with no solution. In our last example, we're going to look at an equation in which any variable will make this true. So there is an infinite, in other words, an endless number of solutions to make this equation true. Once again, I don't know that just by looking at this problem. I know it because I practiced and I found this problem and used it for this demonstration. But let me show you how I figured this out. So I have 9 plus 4p minus 2 equals p plus 3p plus 7. And I'm going to start off by rearranging my terms. So my first line will be 9 minus 2 plus 4p equals, and if you don't mind, I'm just going to combine these terms now. P plus 3p would be 4p plus 7. And 9 minus 2 would be 7 plus 4p, which equals 4p plus 7. Okay, at this point, you might have noticed that these equations are exactly the same on both sides of the equal sign. 7 plus 4p is the same as 4p plus 7. And look what happens if we subtract 4p from both sides. That's 7 plus 4p minus 4p equals 4p minus 4p plus 7. And I end up with 7 equals 7. And what I know here, because I've got the exact same number or the exact variable on both sides of the equal sign, is that there are an infinite number of solutions for this equation. I can put any number in for p, and it will be true. It will make the equation true. It doesn't matter. I could use 0, I could use -5. Any variable will make this true. And this would be an example of an infinite number of solutions. Any variable will make it true. Will make this true. And just to be clear, when I say any variable, I mean any number will make this true, right? I can substitute any number in for the variable p. And those are our three types of equations: one solution, no solution, and infinite solutions.